everyone, I'm Miranda and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm excited to share my birthday book haul with you, or at least part of it. It was my birthday last week and I got some lovely books from friends and family, but I also have to say that this week when you're watching this I'm going to be in London. And I definitely have been saving some birthday money to go book shopping in London. So I'll be really excited to bring you along with me and do a bit of London vlogging. And I'll be sharing what books I get in London with you later. But I still thought it would be fun to show you what I got on my actual birthday, because I definitely got some lovely books and I feel very lucky. First up, I got this gorgeous Folio Society edition of Venetia by Georgiana Hill, and this is one of my very favourite Georgiana Hill books. It was one of the first that I read and I still absolutely love it. I think the cover is really gorgeous on the front and the back, and it's beautifully illustrated as well by Sally Dunn. Show you some of the illustrations. There's one, and there's another. I think they're stunning. It's such a beautiful edition of a real favourite book of mine. I can't wait to read it again and enjoy the beautiful illustrations all through it. And it's definitely one I'll always remember getting for my 35th birthday too. So I feel really lucky to have this and I was absolutely thrilled. And then my mum had noticed that I was really taken with this diary when we were in the bookshop the other day, and I didn't get it at the time, but she picked it up for me, which I wasn't aware of, but it was a lovely surprise on the day. And it's the Liberty Faber Poetry Diary for 2022. I know it's a little bit early to get a diary, but this is such a stunning one, and I really do like to prepare quite far ahead with content I'm planning and book releases in the new year, that kind of thing. I tend to note things like that in my diary. So I was already actually wanting a diary for next year, and I'm absolutely thrilled to have this one. The cover is stunning. I love the Liberty fabric, and then inside there are lots of poems as well, spread throughout the weeks of the year, which I love because I'm such a fan of poetry. So Faber have published so many amazing poetry books over the years, and it's lovely to have some scattered through the year to enjoy as I work my way through each week. So I'm so thrilled with this. It's the first time I've actually got one of the Faber poetry diaries, and I really love it. I'm really thrilled, so that was wonderful. And then my mum also found this book for me, which I was really wanting, and I hadn't realised it had gone out of print. I was quite shocked. It's Lucy Worsley's A Very British Murder, and it says, ever since the Ratcliffe Highway murders caused a nationwide panic in Regency England, the British have taken an almost ghoulish pleasure in a good murder. I'm definitely guilty of that. This fascination helped create a whole new world of entertainment, inspiring novels, plays and films, puppet shows, paintings and true crime journalism, as well as an army of fictional detectives who still enthrall us today. A Very British Murder is Lucy Worsley's captivating account of this curious national obsession. It is a tale of dark deeds and guilty pleasures, a riveting investigation into the British soul by one of our finest historians. I can't wait to read this. I absolutely adore Golden Age crime stories especially, and I'm also a big fan of Sherlock Holmes, so I really can't wait to read this. I think it will be so interesting, and my mum managed to find a second-hand copy for me, so that was very clever of her. And then I got a cookbook as well, which has been on my wish list for some time. It's an A to Z of Pasta by Rachel Roddy. It's her latest cookbook, and I'm such a fan of Rachel Roddy's other cookbooks, and I've been eyeing this one up online for ages, and it looks so good. There are so many different pasta recipes and sauce recipes here, as well as lots of little anecdotes and stories about the different names of pastas and the different shapes and the history behind all these different types of pasta, and some Italian history of course in there too. And it just is such a fascinating read. I've been dipping into it already, and I can tell it will be a book that is lovely to read as well as to cook from. There are lots of recipes I'm earmarking that I want to make too from this. So when I get back from London, I can't wait to try out some of these. I was really thrilled with that. And then if you follow my channel, then you'll already know that I love vintage books, and my mum did get some vintage books for me, which I was really thrilled about. So this one, Private Enterprise by Angela Thirkell. If you watched my birthday book haul from last year, you'll remember that I've got a lot of vintage Angela Thirkells then, and this is one to add to the collection, which I'm thrilled about. It's a first edition. I love the map of Barsetshire that goes, it's like a wraparound cover, you can see it. I think that's lovely, and I haven't read this one before because it's not one of the ones that Virago have republished recently as a paperback. So I don't think this is one I've read before, and that's lovely. I can't wait to be able to read it. Then my mum managed to track down two paperbacks which admittedly look really quite tatty and awful, but they're actually very rare stories to find. So she did a wonderful job at finding them, and I did have these when I was young as hardback editions. Annoyingly, I am annoyed I don't have them anymore because they're very hard to find. Even the paperbacks are hard to find, but I was so thrilled that she tracked them down for me because I really want to read them again. The Autumn Ghosts by Ruth M. Arthur, and another one by Ruth M. Arthur, A Candle in Her Room. I remember reading this when I was little, and it features a very creepy doll called Dido, and I still remember being really quite frightened by this doll, and it was a story that somehow really stuck in my mind. I haven't read it since I was probably about 8 or 9 years old or something, and yet I still remember the chills from reading this. So I'm looking forward to returning to it and seeing what I think of it now. And this sounds really good. I think I read this one too, but I don't remember it. It sounds very good. It says, when Romilly Williams goes to stay on the Scottish Isle of Carosay, she is overwhelmed by a strong feeling that she has been there before. Can she be meant to solve the strange mystery of the old family house, to discover the secret of Roger, the cruel, aloof boy who vanished one day years ago, presumed drowned, but who still returns to haunt the house? This sounds like such a good read for October, really quite spooky, full of ghosts and an old house and a mystery. I'm really looking forward to reading this, so that was fantastic. Then I got a couple of Girls Gone By books that have been on my wish list. One is Juliet of the Chalet School by Caroline German, and another is Juniors of the Chalet School by Catherine Bruce. I'm a huge fan of the Chalet School series by Eleanor and Brent Dyer. These were school stories that were published from the 1920s through to the sort of 1960s, I think. And there are about 58 books in total in the series, and the school starts in the Austrian Alps. It's founded by a British sister and brother with their younger sister Joey, and I absolutely adored these stories when I was little. I went to an international school in Switzerland, so I really identified with some of the themes of internationalism, for instance, that ran through the chalet school stories, and I really just loved them. I still enjoy them, they're still real comfort reads for me. Girls Gone By publishers have reprinted a lot of the chalet school books, and what they've also done is printed some chalet school inspired fill-in stories. So these are fan fiction essentially. They're books written by fans of the chalet school, and they're very much written in the style and in the same tone as Eleanor and Brent Dyer, so they fit really seamlessly into the series. I run the Instagram account of Girls Gone By, and doing that actually really inspired me to start reading more of the fill-ins. I'd never really read them much before because I was always more of a pure chalet school fan, and I didn't really try the fill-ins. But now I have. I'm actually really enjoying them. But I didn't have all of them, and these are now out of print. So I was so thrilled to get them for my birthday, and I can't wait to read them. And then finally, I'm a big fan of the Lorna Hill series too. She wrote books about ballet. A lot of them were written in the 1940s, that kind of era. And I don't have this one, Dancer on Holiday. And look at the stunning dust wrapper. I collect vintage children's fiction essentially, and Lorna Hill is one of the authors that I collect, so I'm so thrilled to add this really beautiful story and beautiful addition to my collection. So yes, I think I had a really lovely birthday book haul. I feel very lucky, and like I said, I'm also very excited to be going to London. My dad sent me some birthday money to get books, but then when I realised I was going to London, I decided to save it to do some book shopping there. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I'll bring you along with us. My mum's joining me in London too, and I hope to do a bit of vlogging and take you book shopping with me in London. But thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much to everyone who sent me such lovely birthday messages on YouTube and on Instagram and on Buy Me a Coffee. That was so lovely of all of you, and it really made my birthday week very special. So thank you so much for all your good wishes, and I'll see you again very soon. Goodbye.